What's going on? It's your boy Ray.
This is that.
This is LMC Talk. We'll talk about love, marriage, and of course, everything can be discussed over a great cup of coffee. Let's go. Listen, got a really cool topic today, man. We're gonna go over the tidbit of the day. We're gonna get it popping. All right, let's do it.
All right, so it's a two-part tidbit. All right, so it says here, I really think if you and your partner don't have your own personal space in y'all's relationship, it won't work. Like, you gotta know when they need their moment and not to barge in. There's still safe boundaries to be had. It's perfectly okay to let them have days for themselves, dates by themselves, quiet days to themselves. If they can't get all they need from themselves, how are they gonna make the team better? You don't have to smother your partner just to show love. If you associate your partner needing their time to wanting to cheat, be around other people, then you have already lost. You have no trust or understanding of one another and how y'all move. If everything is in honest, genuine openness, they'll always respect the relationship.
Okay, so what's the topic then?
The topic of today is, should you or do you have me time in your marriage?
Okay.
Inner peace. Inner peace.
All right, I get where you're going with that. All right. So personally, I think that me time is great. Okay, and I don't see anything wrong with people actually giving their spouses me time, because you need it as well. Okay, you know there's relationships out there that people are smothering each other and they cannot get a room to breathe at all.
Leave me alone.
Some room. And you know, we can probably even use the vows against each other where we're like, well, we're supposed to be together all the time through thick and thin. You know, we're supposed to be in everything, but there's gonna be a time frame where I believe the male and the female need some time for themselves. And this is just me personally. I think with our relationship, we should have time for ourselves, whether it be, you know, me just saying, hey, I'm gonna sit outside, play some video games, chill, you know, or just like go on my phone and just scroll through endlessly and just feel good about myself for whatever reason, just to get away from it. We have enough things to worry about, man.
Okay, so for me, let's break that down a little bit. Because yes, you should have me time in your relationship, right? Or in your marriage. However, you have to get to a point of building we time before me time kicks in. You know what I'm saying? It has to be a point where we have already established and built such a bond together that our me time now is understandable.
I get what you're saying with that, and I understand what you're saying. To the point where I can say,
Because in the beginning,
it can't be in the beginning.
there was no me time. It's like, where are you going? Well, me time from what? What are you running from? Kind of thing. Because now take it.
Yeah, because I know exactly what you're saying, and I kind of agree with you a little bit, because yes, when you just started out a relationship, it's gonna be tough for you to tell somebody, hey, listen, there's gonna be times I'm just gonna leave and just to do me, and I'm gonna go with my boys, and I'm gonna go.
Then you don't need to. What you're saying is you don't need to be married.
And some people will argue that point too. That yes, this is who I was when you met me. I was with my boys. I was doing my thing. I was going to the club on my own. I was doing my thing. But you're absolutely right. I think once you get married, you're supposed to find a way to develop your friendship with that person. And that means initially at the beginning for you to spend as much time as possible with that person. Right?
Exactly.
So I agree with you with that. And yes, I think everybody needs their time for themselves. And whether with you say, hey, you know, do you need some time away from the kids and the noise, and you just want to go somewhere at a spa, you know what I mean? Right. You just want to go do your nails, do your hair, you know.
Yeah. But once you've gotten to that point of building enough we time and you both are comfortable with me time for each other, yes, it is important to have me time in marriage, just like you said, for whatever reason. And me time doesn't mean you go anywhere, because me time for me sometimes is lifetime.
Lifetime. Yeah.
A glass of wine.
Yeah.
And that's life. And that's life. Me time for me is scrolling through Amazon and have $2,000 worth of things in the cart that just sits there. But it's something gratifying about that for me.
It's just so girly for you to say.
It is. It's like there's just something so
weird.
gratifying about that for me. And then another time, it depends on where you are mentally, where your me time, what you need for your me time. And there's some times where I may want to go brunch with my girls, or I may just want to go get my nails done, and it just feels like everything. And then there's another part of me that sometimes I don't want to be away from you at all. I want to be up under you like 6 months straight, and I'm good.
But can that be a conflict? In regards to what if I want me time and you don't? Do you compromise and be like, you know what? I probably, just with the stuff that you read, I probably do need to give her or him the me time, or you'd be like, no, if you can have me time when I'm totally satisfied on my side.
Well, obviously that sounds unfair as you said it, but if I think at that point compromise kicks in, because if you're seeing, because sometimes you don't have to say, hey, it's me time, you know.
What? What?
Hey, it's me time, you know, but you just, sometimes you see that, you know what, I would like to have some time for myself right now, but I feel like my wife is wanting time. So, you know what, it's like, let me push this back a little bit. Like, for instance, with us, you can tell when I want to, you know, spend more time with you, but because I go to bed so early, you'll be like, all right, babe, I'll stay in the room with you, I'll watch a movie.
I'll literally have her fall asleep.
And then fall asleep, and then you go do your thing, play your video games or whatever.
Games.
So I feel like that's also a compromise.
That is
like,
because I could have went out and said
earlier.
You fall asleep when you fall asleep, but she probably want to cuddle or something. I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna cuddle with you first. Once you fall asleep, then I'll go do my thing.
Yeah.
So you know, you gotta find a way to work on it together. And I think
it
brings you closer.
I was just about to say, it makes your relationship closer and healthier. I think.
I think so too. I think.
But the thing about our marriage, though, if I must be honest, we don't need a lot of me time from each other.
Because we actually like each other. I think that's a big point.
That's a big point.
Because some people literally can't really, after a while, be married. It could be early, so I don't know. They can't.
And it's no offense to people that want me time.
No offense. Some people just want too much me time.
Right.
Where it's the opposite around. It's just like you said. All right, I'm gonna take 80%, make sure my wife is happy, and the 20% I'm gonna take for myself to do my thing. It could be completely opposite, where you're saying, hey, 20% is going to be for my wife and then 80% is going to be me.
Right.
Hey, it's me. Hey, I'm going to go play basketball with the guys. Right after I'm done with that, we're going to go see a movie together. Right after we're done with that, we're going to go play some cards. And then you come home and you want to fall asleep. And you're doing that every other night. You're not spending enough time with your spouse. You're not paying attention to what's happening. And of course, more than likely, a lot of our needs will not be met because of you being absent.
It's true. So, at some point in the relationship, right, you got to step back and say, okay, this me time is becoming too much, because this could possibly cost me my whole marriage.
Yeah.
But I think, like I said before, for us, I don't think we need a lot. And it's so important, you guys, that you build such a friendship that even your we time still feels like me time.
That's true. That's interesting. Yeah, you're right. Because it doesn't feel like I'm bothering you or you're bothering me when you're around.
Right.
If I'm out playing video games and you sit in my lap or you know we rubbing on each other while we're doing that, or we watching Lifetime and we all cuddled up, you know, I'm not even paying attention to what's happening in Lifetime, but I'm cuddled up with you just the same.
Yeah.
You still feel like you're one in each other, and that is a very important point, for real. So you should, but of course you have to get to that place. So you can't be absent in order to get to that place.
That's true.
You got to make sure you're present.
You got to put in effort in the beginning, a lot.
Especially in the beginning, especially. I don't have to, because I know some people are gonna be like, well, you know, we have some people we've met and we are very professional people where this person is going out of town all the time for business trips and all kind of stuff. Those first few years of your relationship is super important because you're basically building the roots of what you guys are possibly going to be in the future. And when those roots are not built properly, then when there's an argument, you don't know, guys don't know how to handle it because you're never around to have an argument until something really blows up. So yeah.
And you have one disagreement and you're like, whoa,
You're like,
damage control, what
yeah.
do we do? What do we do at this point?
You know, and you feel uncomfortable, like, you know, I feel weird about this whole situation. Yeah, because you're not even comfortable with even having a disagreement. I wouldn't even say argument, like disagreement. You don't even know how to handle it.
Because I wonder if some people know that disagreements are healthy in marriages, because I'll hear people proudly say, you know, we've never argued.
That's a red flag.
That's a red flag, you guys.
Yeah.
Insert red flag here. That's a red flag. That's a red flag. If you guys have never had an argument, that means he or she does not care enough to even argue about what you're saying. That's what that means.
Yeah, it kind of does.
Because whatever you say, it's supposed to evoke some kind of emotion. If you don't get an emotion out of me, even without a marriage, if you don't get an emotion out of me, that means I don't care. So what do you think? Why that changes in marriage? If you don't evoke an emotion out of me, negatively or positively in a situation, I don't care.
And that's a red flag. If you see that you say something that you literally knew that this is something negative, and the person, I'm not saying everybody's gonna argue, but if they disagree, they can't just be agreeing with everything single thing that you do, because you need to see that side of them that they do disagree to see how you guys resolve that problem. All right, so what's gonna happen is that, say for instance the person disagrees.
It's easier to say yes than to say no. So if I agree and I say, okay, babe, you're right. Argument done.
But you're trying to resolve you not having a conflict, right? But what that ends up being is it builds resentment. So what's going to happen is that eventually, after a certain period of time, you're building all that resentment, and then one day, that day, the straw that breaks the camel's back, right? It's going to be one thing that a person mentions, and you're going to be like, oh, so you didn't put the toilet seat down again, you know? And then all of a sudden, you guys almost get in a divorce because of the toilet seat. So you gotta nip things in the bud as early as possible as you can. Oh, are you feeling okay, babe? I feel a little bit of a different energy from you. Is everything okay with you? Yeah, I'm fine. Dig deeper. Don't just take the I'm fine, because you know how that is. Sometimes when people are mad, they don't even want to discuss their feelings at that particular point. Give it some time. You know, after a little time, again, you know, I know earlier you seem like you're a little bit off. I want to find out what's going on with you. Tell me what's up, baby. When the person calms down, because you want to kind of push a little bit more. Don't just be like, she said she was fine.
Yeah. And that's what she said.
But it's been years now. She's don't worry, she's fine. And then other people probably from outside of your relationship looking like, no, she doesn't look like she's fine at all. She's been talking to her girls and her pastor and everybody else except you, because you're not paying attention to the signs. So yeah, it's a thin line right there. You gotta be careful.
Thin line. Okay, so I have this other part that he says here, why me time is important. Think back to when you entered your relationship. Remember that chances are the friends you had and the experiences you engaged in were among the factors that drew your partner in at least a little. Having individual experiences can be as valuable to the relationship as shared experiences. Leaving room to allow yourself to go out and experience life without always having your partner at your side leaves you with an opportunity to share your new experiences, ideas, and thoughts when you and your partner re-engage. But that part, I have another part to read, but with that part, I have something to say about that. Is that sometimes you guys, everybody's in different levels of their relationships. Like, I think for me, when they say it's something resonated with me here. Leaving room to allow yourself to go out and experience life without always having your partner at your side leaves you with an opportunity to share your new experiences. Sometimes I like to, because a lot of our experiences, because we've been together at such a young age and we've grown together, a lot of our experiences are new. So I enjoy my new experiences to be with him. There's almost times that I've been out with my friends and it's a new experience, and I feel like I hate it here because he's not there. Like, my new experiences, I prefer to share it with him because I also know that it is his new experience, so it's exciting together. there's some people that are in different levels of their marriage, that they've been married before,
Yeah.
and they've experienced a lot more before, so it's not really new to them. But when you're in a relationship where kind of everything is new because you've been together at such a young age, like, you want to kind of experience everything together. So I don't want to come home and tell you about this experience. I want you to be there.
Be completely honest, I wouldn't even suggest for people that been in long time relationships before long term relationships before they're with the person that they're with right now, and they've been married before and been divorced or whatever case may be, and they've gone to all of these trips. And I don't even suggest for the new relationship to do older things. Meaning that don't take that person to the same place that you took.
Build new.
Please build brand new experiences, especially with things that you haven't even done as yet.
Right.
So you
It
both
makes it
can
more
enjoy.
exciting, yeah.
Exactly. Don't even take the person. Oh, you know what? This was an amazing canoe ride that we did in Paris this one time with my
Ex-wife.
previous spouse, and you take the person
Ex-husband.
there, probably not even telling them whatever it is, but it's not going to be the same. It's not going to feel the same. It's going to be like, it's better if you try to do something brand new. Forget about the old stuff. It's the reason why you guys are divorced.
That's true.
Right? Forget about the old stuff. And try to do brand new things with your spouse or whatever the case would be. I think that would be something that you really need to think about.
That is definitely something to think about. Challenges to me time. Holding on to and expressing your individuality can be particularly challenging in codependent relationships where one partner feels like they have limited autonomy in control, or that they have a controlling, demanding partner. If you find you encounter guilty feelings, thoughts, or your partner becomes angry or resentful when you shift into me time, it might be wise to examine your relationship more closely. Maintaining a sense of self and engaging in activities independent of the partnership can be difficult, even in healthy relationships, but having intense negative reactions to exploring activities outside of the relationship may be a sign it is moving into an unhealthy space.
I don't like when you said an intense, because I get that part where they're saying, if the person is saying, well, you can go do your thing, but make sure you come back and we do something together, or you guys are planning it that way. But if the person is intensely like saying, I need my time, there's nothing I don't want you to be in my time. I need to go do me. I need to go do me with my friends. I need to go do me with a club. And then it intensely, when you give any kind of pushback at any time, maybe you allow them to do it the first few times they do it, or whatever it is, right? And you guys make some kind of arrangement. But if the person is just every single time you do any kind of slight pushback, the person gets really aggressive about it, be like, no, you're trying to say I can't do me, then that's kind of like a red flag. Because the person should want to do us.
That's why that couple on Love is Blind, that they're not together anymore. I don't remember their name, but I'm sure you'll find a picture and put it up. You know that little cute couple? You like the little tiny, she's so tiny.
I like her.
One of her issues with him, and now they're divorced, is that she says he spends a lot of me time with his friends. And it's a new relationship. And he feels obligated to stay out later than he should, because she said, okay, you can have fun with your friends because he's the life of the party. So they egg him on to be the life of the party. So he keeps going. But the thing about it, he does this a lot.
But that means, were you ready to get married then?
Probably not.
Were you actually ready then? Because you're supposed to be.
There's supposed to be a shift.
It's supposed to be a shift. Or it could be.
It's a mental shift that has to happen.
It could be very swiftly. I know people say, hey, sometimes you can't do things cold turkey because you'll feel like you need it. If you feel like you found the one, you would want to spend that time with them so bad. You wouldn't even care as much about your friends. That's what I'm saying. Did you find the one? Did you find a solace in this person? Like you feel as though this person could be your best friend, your confidant. Is this person your person?
Right, because also with me time, babe, with me time, it's not supposed to be an argument or this. It's supposed to be soft. Oh, babe.
It's supposed to be soft.
It's supposed to be soft. It's supposed to roll into soft. It's like, oh, babe, I'm gonna go get my nails done today, and after that, I think I'm gonna stop at the store and I'm gonna just browse. I don't know if I'm gonna get anything yet. And okay, you're saying, oh, it looks like she needs time, and you'd be like, all right, babe, talk later.
That is totally understandable.
It's supposed to be soft. It's not supposed to be, well, guess what? I'm sick of this, so I'm going out to do. You see the difference?
And every single day is like, hey, there's game night tonight with my boys. You know, we watching the game, and those NBA games, those football games, sometimes it's every single day. So what you're saying, every single night should be like at 7 o'clock or 8 o'clock, I gotta be at my boy's house for the entire week because it's playoff time. You can't just
and
do
don't
that.
move the playoffs to the house and think, oh well, I'm home. Didn't you want me home? That's not what I'm
You gotta
saying.
figure out a way,
Yeah.
especially in new relationships that you don't have the roots set down as yet, to do things together. Be like, babe, we're gonna watch a game. I want you to come over because the wives are there too. I want you guys to make your hors d'oeuvres and go in the next room and watch a movie while I want to find a way to do it, especially in the first part of your relationship. I think.
In the first part. Okay. Yes, I agree.
A little later on, it's a little bit more different. It's a little different when a little bit later on, because now you've gathered that trust that you have, and you feel as though, man, this man is work all week. I can't even. He needs this time, or she needs this time.
And then it comes from also a place of trust, right? Because me time, why they say, I said it in the beginning, why some couples may translate me time to cheating or you wanting to do something suspicious. It's because you guys have not built a bond and a trust that makes you feel like me time is really just what it is.
Exactly.
It's just time for me, babe. You know what I'm saying? It's not me having to be like, oh, let me call him every 5 minutes. Where is he at? Type deal.
And just like you said, me time doesn't necessarily mean that you even need to leave the house sometimes.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? You can say, babe, I'm just gonna go out on the couch and watch this game. Yeah, babe, don't worry about it. Babe, I'm gonna be in the room. I'm gonna watch Lifetime,
whatever it is,
and I'll be like, you know what, you need some time. I'm gonna go outside and I'm gonna do something. You know, while you do, you know what I mean. so I mean, you gotta find a way to make it so that the other person is comfortable with what you're doing, and then while you build those roots, and then if something else later happens where you're now going over to your boy or whatever, you're going up to your girl, you're doing your nails, you're doing whatever it is as me time, then it'll feel a lot more comfortable. You'll be like, yeah, go do your thing.
But it can't be too much.
It can't be too much.
Me time is, it may not even be every week. This is not a thing that you just go on a whim now to say, oh, it's me time.
It's all you then. So why did you get married?
Right. If it's all you and it's all me, then there is no we.
This is
right.
We or us. Mm-hmm.
All right. And this last thing, I wanted to say. They say me still respects the we.
Boom.
All right, so making space for your individuality within your relationship does not mean you're exiting or avoiding the relationship. Me time should not be used as a method to escape difficult conversations or issues coming up in the relationship. If you find you're using alone time to escape, you might try reflecting on how your habits may be markers of unresolved issues and how you might become more present to tackle difficult moments. Good me time respects the partnership and your partner by avoiding engagement in activities that may harm or disrupt the relationship or foster distrust. Me time can allow you to reconnect with what's important to you and can be used to enhance the connection you have with your partner.
Yeah, and I like that. And it talks about fostering mistrust. Even when you have, earlier in our relationship, what I used to do is every time we had an argument, I used to drive off and leave.
Immediately.
Like, I used to just say, you know what? I don't need to deal with this right now, and I'm stressed out. I just came from work. I'm working so hard for this family.
I'm not arguing you when you just came from work.
Right? And then I used to jump in the car and be like,
but that's facts.
But see, that could be considered, I need me time, right? But it's kind of like a negative me time.
It's almost like you're fostering distrust by using a negative thing to try to get away for yourself and not for us. Kind of, so we're like that, no?
Yeah, but I'm saying, like, if there's a negative thing from it, meaning that you're running away from, say, an argument, or you're running away from, that could foster some mistrust in itself, because now you're like, where is he going to get away from what we're talking about?
Right.
To run to someone else? Is he going to somebody else's place? Is he doing? And you're probably gonna be thinking a lot of negative things, even to the point where you'd be like,
what made you stop doing that?
It was dumb. It was stupid, because I think running away from the situation, I realized that I still had to come back and face it at some particular point. And I believe that the longer you have it sit there and kind of like fester, is the harder it's going to be for you to dig yourself out of that. Okay. So everybody needs a little time sometimes, but not too much. You don't want to go in like you're missing for 4 hours and you come back like, or if something happens and I needed that particular time, I would literally just go in the next room. I try not to leave anymore, because I think leaving, it feels, first of all, a little disrespectful, and it feels as though, okay, I have to sit here and figure out my thoughts in this thing that the person is leaving me in. So I'm still dealing with the kids, I'm still dealing with everything that we have in play, sitting in the house, and then this person is going away from the problem, and I'm still festering in the problem, and it feels like that. And then the person is coming back when they feel rejuvenated, while you are still sitting in the problem. You don't get no rejuvenation. You feel like you're still sitting in it. So once the person comes back, then I feel as though that's a little selfish.
It is.
You know what I mean?
Hence, that's why I say me time is supposed to be soft. It's not meant to be me time that you run away from issues at home. Me time is you're trying to deflect and do other things, or even because some people use work as me time to deflect from things that are happening at home. You take on overtime and you take on all this work because you are at work, right? But you don't really need to be there. You don't really
like,
have
I just
to be
can't
there.
stand going
I just
home
don't want to go
with
home.
these arguments and
Right.
So that's what I'm saying. Sometimes it's a lot more harmful from when I was driving off, because I realized that you're sitting in it, and then once I come back, it hasn't moved at all. It probably moved for me because I drove, wind my window down, turn up the music, do my thing, came back, and I'm not saying that's unhealthy to do that, because sometimes you do need to get away.
Sometimes it depends on the level of the argument. Sometimes it's best you drive, because sometimes, guys, before you do something that's irrational, it's best you drive out.
And with
1,000%.
And I was always angry about everything. So at the beginning of the relationship,
why are you always angry about everything?
I think when I was younger, I was just angry about everything either way. I've gotten a lot more calmer, but I mean, things didn't bother me, or I thought they weren't bothering me with just the world itself. But then I realized that I would take anger out on the arguments that we had and everything else. Everything would just come pouring out.
Because I think what happened with that is because you suppress a lot.
I do suppress a lot.
So,
I think men in general sometimes suppress.
I think so.
The mass majority, to me.
I think so. You're probably right. So by the time an issue comes up, you are combustible. You're ready to explode.
It's true.
So it's like, this one thing took you over the top. No, it's because you've been holding on to 10 things.
Yeah.
Which is not healthy, by the way.
And again, it's a bit of a balance. So yeah, it's not healthy. And I do sometimes understand why some people have to drive away and leave the situation.
Yeah.
Because every now and then it'll get to that point that you have to do that. However, I'm saying for the majority of the smaller arguments that I think that the best thing to do to cool off, I go into another room. I try to cool off. I said, before I say something stupid, let me just go to another room. And then eventually I'll go back and be like, hey, babe, listen, I don't want us to be arguing about this. Let's try to find a solution for this or whatever. And I don't have no qualms in doing that, even if I didn't think that I was wrong.
Yes, I must say that about him. He's so much better at apologizing than me, y'all. I'm not really good at apologizing.
She's not.
I'm really not. Like,
is that a woman thing? I really wonder.
Know,
because women doesn't seem like they
I don't think maybe it's a
to say that they're wrong.
Yeah, it's and I don't know why it's hard. It shouldn't be, but it's like, it's so hard. He has no qualms in squashing it. So he'd be like, babe, I don't care who's wrong or right. It's stupid. We're beyond this. We're grown. And he's right. There's a point in your relationship where You're gonna always have disagreements, but if you find yourself disagreeing over the same thing over and over, there's no growth.
Yeah,
I think there's
we gotta
gonna be
get over
different
it.
things to
Yeah.
disagree about, but we can't keep disagreeing over the same thing.
So
So there's
talking
no
about this
growth.
again.
Yeah. So I think so if it gets to that point for you, I think sometimes you're like, babe, we're too grown for this. And then I kind of feel immature at that point, and I'm like, you're right. We like. This
We have a lot bigger things to be dealing
Yeah,
with.
so-
You know what I mean?
It says how to make me.
You know what
It
I
says
mean?
how to
Like
make.
there's more important things. You know what I mean?
It says how to make me time. Schedule it. Your own time needs to be as important to you as your best friend's birthday party or your partner's promotion celebration. Let it live in your calendar and carry the same weight as other important plans. When you live with your partner, finding time to be alone can become even more challenging. Speak with your partner and find ways to carve out physical and mental space for yourself to do things you enjoy doing, say reading or working on puzzles. I find that I do a lot of self-reflection during that time sometimes, and I find myself with so much gratitude for my husband, for my family.
So you're saying me time could actually strengthen your relationship?
Yes, absolutely. And sometimes stepping away from, and then even going out with my girls, sometimes it's like, oh my God, I can't wait to get home to my husband. And like you get that little bit of me time, and I'm like, oh, that me time could last me a month, I'm good. And you just feel like, man, I don't want to be out in the streets. Also, me time can make you realize that
There's
oh,
nothing
thank
out
you,
there.
Lord.
There's nothing out there.
Thank you, Jesus. Won't he do it? And he did.
Yeah.
He did it for me, and he could do it for you too. Because sometimes I do go out and I'm like, I don't want
Like,
this
what
life.
is this? Yeah,
this
it's-
life is not for me.
Yeah,
So
I feel you on that.
that could also make you come home and be like, your heart is full of so much gratitude. You're looking around like, you'd be like, why are you kissing me? So I just love you. Like, I'm so happy. You know, so me time could also be a check,
Yeah, strengthen.
a life check. Like, this isn't bad at all.
This isn't bad.
And then sometimes you go out and you're talking to your girlfriends and you're like, I don't have these issues.
Yeah.
I'm living good, you know, so it depends. And then there's sometimes I'll be home and it's just self-reflection of things I feel like I could do better on, you know, emotionally, spiritually, mentally, financially. So you find time to work on yourself and things that I'll be like, hey babe, you know, I came up with this idea. Let's do this, this, and this. So me time is not a negative thing in your relationship, y'all. It could push your relationship to the next level. I really do believe that.
I think we should just end it right there. So,
All right, so that's my moral of the story.
that's the moral of the story for you.
Yeah.
All right, same deal for me. I think you can strengthen your relationship if you do it in the right way.
Right
It's
way.
gotta be
Keyword,
something-
the right way.
It's got to be positive as opposed
Soft
to a negative.
time,
A
yeah.
soft time. You don't leave when you think that things are falling apart and you
Right.
need to have a conversation.
Right.
You don't leave during that time frames. You want to do it on a positive note. We'll give each other me time or us time, whatever it is. All right, and then try to find, even when you're the new part of a relationship, sometimes try to make me time we time, just for you guys to make a bond, and then so that when you do get absent, it makes the heart grow fonder. All right,
Okay, look at you.
it's just how I roll.
Look at you.
It's a gift. It just kind of comes.
You did that.
All right, so thank you so much again for joining us. Again, this is Rick.
This is that.
This is LMC Talk. And if this is your first time to watch us, please go ahead and go ahead and comment, go ahead and smash the notification button so you can know when we have new videos that's coming out. Thanks so much for the support and all the comments that we've been getting. We're getting DMs, we're getting all kinds of stuff. People just asking us questions. We'll be happy
And we're gonna get to
ask-
some of these topics.
And we're gonna actually have a questionnaire that we're gonna do that want to know what people really want to know about, and then we'll go ahead and cipher it out while we're on camera. So, all right, and one of the times we want to do also is probably get a therapist on here, so we can talk about marriage
Some
from
deep
a doctor.
things. Yeah.
Okay, so thanks so much again for joining us, and we will see you next time.